So I think that Canelo beats him pretty easily, but we'll see. If Crawford does good, I mean, kudos to Crawford. You know, I'm happy for him. If he can.
No one really knows who Crawford is, to be honest. Outside of hardcore boxing, I think my mom has more followers than anyone on Instagram. I'm not even kidding.
Shane Mosley didn't mince words when asked about Terence Crawford's decision to move up and face the powerful Saul Canelo Alvarez. According to Mosley, this fight is a mismatch. His take is simple: Canelo is just too big.
I think it'll be a great fight. I think both guys are great fighters, but I think Canelo's just too big, and you know, they mistake him as being just a guy at 168, not a regular guy, and Crawford being the more talented, but that's not the case. They're both talented.
He believes many people are underestimating Alvarez, thinking that Crawford's superior skills might carry him through. But from Mosley's perspective, both fighters are equally skilled. Canelo just has the edge in size, which makes a huge difference in boxing. For Mosley, it's not just a matter of technique or strategy. The weight and physicality of Alvarez at 168 pounds are something Crawford has never experienced, and that could prove to be a serious problem come fight night. Mosley even went as far as saying that this might turn out to be an easy night for Canelo if everything plays out the way he sees it.
But the only thing is, Canelo has him by two-weight division, so I think that Canelo beats him pretty easily, but we'll see. If Crawford does good, I mean, kudos to Crawford. You know, I'm happy for him. If he can pull off, great. But my mental, my mind's telling me that Canelo's gonna probably beat him.
On the flip side, Bernard Hopkins has a completely different view. While he respects the physical disadvantage Crawford faces, Hopkins praises the Omaha native for stepping up in weight and daring to do something truly historic. Hopkins knows a thing or two about taking risks in boxing and sees Crawford's ambition as part of what makes him special.
And Crawford dared to be great, and this is one of the ways you do it, and you tell the world, watch, pay attention, and watch me make history. I will be one of those watching amongst millions of other people. I can't wait to, I believe, November or September.
He believes that with the right game plan and strategy, Crawford not only has a chance, he has a great chance. Hopkins isn't ignoring Canelo's strengths, but he places a lot of stock in the heart, intelligence, and talent of Crawford. He sees this fight as the best facing the best, and for him, that's what boxing should always be about. Hopkins admires Crawford for putting it all on the line and believes history could be written in the ring on September 13th.
Chance. He have a great chance because of his heart, his talent, and also his game plan and his strategy. But Canelo is no pushover. I've watched Canelo for multiple years. Again, the best is fighting the best.
The bout between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is set to be one of the biggest events of the year, taking place at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. With two of boxing's most dominant champions facing off, fans around the world are already buzzing. Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight champion with a record of 63 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, including 39 knockouts, will face an undefeated 4-division champion in Crawford, who boasts a 41-0 record with 31 knockouts.
Enough tools, 100%, enough experience, 100%. He's locked in mentally. You know, that's the first thing at this level. The first thing at this level is not the physical, it's the mental and the spirit. He's got all of that. He's gonna have power at 168 pounds. He's gonna have the precision, and those are essential, especially for a Mexican guy coming forward. You know, we've never seen Canelo go down. I'm not going to dive into how I think Terence might pull it off. I think it's too early for it now. I'll get into that eventually on the Puerto Rico podcast. But I do think that Terence is going to pull it off.
Nice, nice. Last thing, I never see you fat. I always see you in shape. The guns are always out.
Because I always got a shirt on.
The event will be promoted as part of the Riyadh season, with support from Saudi official Turki Al Sheikh, UFC president Dana White, and entertainment company Sela. Tickets are set to go on sale soon, and anticipation is building fast.
But the most important things to make you understand and know this information. The undercard, it will be between 2 or 3 days, imagine. For 2 or 3 days. We have now reached more than 20 fights to do in the undercard. And 95% of this card is talent, and people around the world have very big chance to be star in the future.
Of course, not everyone is sold on the hype. Internet personality and boxer Jake Paul weighed in on the matchup with his usual flair for controversy. While Paul didn't offer much in terms of fight analysis, he did throw shade at the promotion of the event. He claimed that the fight between Canelo and Crawford wasn't as big as some others, even joking that his mom has more Instagram followers than Crawford. While his comments may be more comedic than critical, they reflect how some fans, especially younger, social media focused ones, may see Crawford as flying under the radar despite his impressive resume.
Honestly, it's a bigger fight than those two, to be honest, in my opinion.
Like, that's a moment again where you're gonna have some of the top female killers in the world.
No one really knows who Crawford is, to be honest. Outside of hardcore boxing. I think my mom has more followers than anyone on Instagram. I'm not even kidding.
Among active fighters, David Benavidez offered a more balanced take. He acknowledged that the weight difference favors Canelo and gives him a slight edge. He rated the fight a 60-40 in favor of the Mexican champion. However, Benavidez also made it clear that no one should overlook Crawford's skills. From his perspective, Crawford is one of the best technicians in the sport, and while size matters, technique and fight IQ can sometimes overcome physical disadvantages.
It's a good fight. More like a 60-40 only because of the weight difference, but you can't take Crawford's skill away. You know, you have to give him credit for skill. He's an amazing fighter. He's an amazing technician in the ring, and I think it's like 60-40.
Thanks, David. Do you think Crawford will fight you if he beats Canelo?
Nah, I wouldn't fight Crawford. I'm at 175.
As for Benavidez' own future, he doesn't see himself fighting Canelo anytime soon, at least not at super middleweight. After moving up to 175 pounds and becoming a world champion in that division, Benavidez has no interest in cutting back down to 168. If Canelo ever wants that fight, Benavidez says it'll have to be at light heavyweight. But before any talk of that matchup becomes serious, Canelo has to get past Crawford, and that's no easy task, even with the size difference.
Actually, I don't think a fight with me and Canelo would ever happen at 168. I want to go back to 160. I'm good at 175. I'm world champion here. So if you'd want to come up to fight at 175, I'm all good with that. But right now, I can't live in this fantasy world where like, oh, maybe I'm going to get this fight, maybe this and that. I've done my job. I've done everything to get this fight. It's one of the biggest fights in boxing. If a person don't want to make it happen, I'm not going to waste my time trying to make a fight happen with a person that doesn't want to fight me. So I'm just trying to fight the people who are really trying to fight.
Adding another layer to the conversation, Khamzat Shiraz has entered the mix following a dominant win over Edgar Berlanga in New York. His performance drew praise from Turki Alalshik, who even suggested that Shiraz deserves a shot at Canelo, potentially as soon as 2026. Alalshik emphasized how impressive Shiraz was under pressure and predicted championship success for the British-Pakistani fighter. While that fight is still a long way off, it shows just how many eyes are on Canelo and who might be lining up next, depending on how things go in Las Vegas.
What other cards do you have?
Khamzat, there is a lot. First, we are discussing with Canelo to renew the contract with him with more fights. We don't know. Maybe we can reach some points to have Canelo with us forever until he's retired. In my plan, there is Khamzat, there is Mobili, the French, there is also maybe one day Benavidez, there is Bevel, there is a lot of fights for Canelo.
Khamzat Shiraz also added his voice to the conversation around a potential future showdown with Canelo Alvarez. For Shiraz, the idea of facing Canelo isn't just about the spotlight, it's about legacy. He sees it as a truly great opportunity, one that could define his career. Confident in his rising abilities and recent dominant performances, Shiraz made it clear that if this fight ever becomes a reality, he's not just stepping in for experience, he's stepping in to win, and not just win, but knock Canelo out. That level of confidence speaks volumes about how seriously Shiraz is taking his rise in the sport and how determined he is to make his mark against one of boxing's biggest names.
Do you have anything to say to Canelo?
No, not really. I'm not going to sit here and loudmouth someone like himself, but it'd be an honor to share the ring with him. It genuinely would. someone who, like I said, I've looked up to, and then the next thing you know, you're in the ring with them. Do you know what I mean? So, like I said, it's an accomplishment itself. But one thing I can guarantee is, if I do ever share the ring with Canelo, it's not going to be the case of what happened in his last fight where his opponent was trying to run. I promise you guys, like, it's on camera here. Even if I get knocked out, I'll stand there and trade with him at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So I'll put on a good performance, because that's what it's about. That's what it's about, being great, daring to be great. And I'll do just that.
Veteran trainer Robert Garcia also shared his insights, bringing a more nuanced view to the discussion. While many are concerned about Crawford's size disadvantage, Garcia believes the Nebraska native has a real opportunity, primarily because of where Canelo is in his career. Garcia suggested that Alvarez at this point is more focused on maintaining his record than putting on spectacular performances.
Well, without counting obviously fights that I'm involved, I would probably say Crawford versus Canelo, because it's a fight that that most of the people don't give Crawford a chance because of the size, but he's got skills, man. He's got skills. He's got good speed, good footwork. That's why I do give him a chance.
You do give?
I do give Crawford a chance, of course. You know, Canelo's last few fights, you know, he does his work. He gets work done, but never does that little extra to please or to. He knows he doesn't need to anymore, so he's just comfortable enough with just securing the win.
He referred to Canelo as becoming more of a businessman than a pure fighter, hinting that this mentality could open the door for someone as skilled and determined as Crawford. Garcia isn't denying that Canelo is the favorite, but he does see the door slightly open for an upset.
He became a businessman, and I think that could be something in favor of Crawford, that if he comes out in his best and good footwork, you know, Canelo is flat-footed. He you know, his last fight, especially against the runner, he was throwing one punch at a time. Didn't even try to be aggressive and get him into the ropes, throw combinations of 4 to 5 punches. He never even tried that. So I think at this stage, I am giving Crawford a big chance of maybe pulling it up.
At the same time, legendary promoter Bob Arum is also fully backing Crawford. Arum went so far as to predict not only a win, but a wide decision for Crawford, and even said a knockout victory wouldn't be out of the question. He believes that Canelo, while still a dangerous fighter, has declined significantly over his last few fights.
If I had to pay money to watch that fight, I wouldn't do it, because Canelo has shown in his last few fights that he's just a businessman. He's not in there to entertain the public. He just takes the big check. But again, if Canelo really fights, because I think it's safe to say Terence always fights. He doesn't know anything else. So then it could be a very good, interesting fight.
You've always praised Terence as a special fighter. Do you think he can beat Canelo?
Who is Canelo? What Canelo is going to show up?
In Arum's eyes, Crawford has been consistently facing tougher competition and has evolved into a complete fighter. One of Crawford's biggest strengths, Arum emphasized, is his ambidexterity. He noted that fighters prepare for him as either an orthodox or a southpaw, but Crawford can switch seamlessly mid-fight. That, Arum believes, could throw Canelo off completely.
The Canelo is looking to cash a big check, or the Canelo that really wants to fight like a fighter. Now, the Canelo we've seen the last 2 years is not only boring, but doesn't really have an incentive to mix it up and to entertain people with a good fight.
Arum admitted that if this fight had been proposed a few years ago, he might have leaned toward Canelo, but things have changed. Crawford has improved, and Canelo, in Arum's view, has regressed. He sees the timing of this fight as perfect for Crawford to take advantage of and possibly make boxing history.
He was in with not a very good fighter on Saturday, and he was getting $50 million to fight that, and he already had been promised $100 million to fight Crawford. So why would he take a chance, right? But that's no good for boxing. You see, in the old days, when we had like a fighter like Sugar Ray Leonard or Oscar De La Hoya doing a fight, they had a reason to really give the crowd an entertaining fight.
Crawford himself has addressed the doubts surrounding his punching power at this new weight class. After all, moving up so significantly will bring him face to face with opponents who are naturally heavier and stronger, but Crawford is confident. He says his power will rise with him and believes that the work he's done sparring with heavier opponents has prepared him for what's to come.
Of course, I don't have to have enough power to hurt him. I just gotta beat him. That's it. If he slip up, then, you know, he will get hurt.
He understands that taking punches from Canelo will be different than anything he's experienced before, but he isn't worried. He believes in his conditioning, his technique, and his ability to adapt. Crawford has made it clear that he's ready for the challenge and is mentally and physically preparing to bring his best on fight night.
Listen. You know, I might be the smaller fighter, you know, but Canelo can testify to this. He went up against bigger fighters and been victorious. You know, so all that smaller fighter and I'm the bigger fighter, that goes out the window when you got skills. You know, but Canelo, he's a tremendous fighter. He's got the skills, the experience, the power. He got everything. That's why it's so intriguing. Everybody want to know, can Terence Crawford take Canelo power? Can Terence Crawford deal with Canelo pressure? Can Terence Crawford deal with...
In the end, the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing matchups in recent memory, not just because of what happens inside the ring, but also because of what it represents. On one side is Canelo, a dominant champion who has conquered multiple divisions and remains a global superstar. On the other is Crawford, the underdog stepping up in weight, but bringing with him unmatched skill, an undefeated record, and a fearless attitude.
Huh?
In Spanish first.
Voy a ganar.
Ganar.
Voy a ganar. Esa es la idea, ganar. That's the idea. Always in my mind doesn't exist a loss. You know, I train, I put my best, I dedicate myself to this sport, and I'm just thinking about win, to make history, and this is no deception.
Opinions are sharply divided. Some, like Shane Mosley, see it as a clear win for Canelo due to the size difference. Others, like Bernard Hopkins, Robert Garcia, and Bob Arum, believe Crawford has the tools, the mindset, and the timing to shock the world. Even current stars like David Benavidez acknowledge that while size plays a role, it's not everything in boxing. Come September 13th at Allegiant Stadium, the world will be watching to see if Terence Crawford's bold leap pays off, or if Canelo Alvarez once again proves why he's one of the greatest of this generation. Don't miss your chance to witness history. Grab your tickets, tune in live, and be part of one of the biggest nights in boxing. And if you want more exclusive updates, predictions, and behind-the-scenes coverage leading up to fight night, make sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, turn on notifications, and join the conversation in the comments. This is one fight you don't want to miss.